Good afternoon, guys. Hey, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly video update for Wednesday, May the 22nd. And you guys know I like to start with the S&P. I've got my 1 day, 1 minute chart up here. And again, I had someone asking me about indicators in the room today, and you probably know already if you've seen any videos that I've done. Mine are pretty basic charts. I don't have a ton of indicators on here. I do use voodoo lines. They're very nice to have on. They give me good levels. But let's look at the voodoo lines here and what I'm thinking. Of course, this is for today, and lo and behold, we ended pretty much right where we started, with the S&P down, I don't know, 8 points, off last night. Yeah, this is the most frustrating kind of trade, because we think we're going to get momentum one way and then it doesn't happen. We think we're going to get momentum one way and the other, it doesn't happen. And then we're going to run here and nothing happens. We end up closing kind of where we started. And I said this in our in the bias room today in our breakout session. I said, it wouldn't surprise me if we end up right where we finish, and that's exactly what happened. Very, very quiet day, non-directional. But I was hoping that we go up here. This continues to be a pretty, for me, it's a pretty critical level. We need to get over this to kind of open the door to more upside up here. As you can see, we got close here, and then we tried to retest it here and kind of sort of here, but we just can't seem to get going yet. Let me back this out to a 5-day chart here, and you can see why. Once we get above, now this is S&P, once we get above here, again, this will turn into support, so we get above it, and then we might, do one of those kind of numbers, as we did over here. So we breached here, came down, support. I mean, it's pretty clear support there. We did overnight break, breaking kind of back and forth, but it acted like a kind of, I guess, a balance bar there between those two. But again, you can see we need to come here. Now, all that being said, I am at least happy that we didn't do this today, because that could have very well happened. But it was just a sluggish day. Look at this. These are the ticks, and let me back this out a little bit. So there's all day. I mean, we just got nothing all day long, which tells me that one, the institutional money, the big guys, are not in this market right now. When they step in, we will know it, because then we start getting big moves and so forth. It also tells me that there's just not a lot of interest either way. We are right in, continue to be in trade war talks and tweets and all that kind of stuff. So, lots of indecision going on right now with the market, and it's evident because we're just kind of hanging out here. Now, and again, I'm going to stick with the S&P, but we have a long weekend. Monday's a market holiday, and typically, or I expect, we're paid to have an opinion, right? And I am talking my book, because I've got some stuff that's long. I'm just like I said in last week's video. I'm positioned long with some pretty decent hedge on the downside, so it can go either way, and I'll be fine. But again, if we clear this, and that kind of opens the door up here, I would really like for us to get to 2,900 and even cross this skyline on Friday, and that would be reasonable. Now, we're a little bit far away from that, at this point. The expected move is about 27 points, and we're about 40. So, that mathematically is a stretch, but with a tweet, or any kind of thing like this, or like we can get a big overnight gap like this. We can still make it up here, right? And that's fine. That's what I prefer to have happen. I would rather not see us, fail and come back down to any of these lower levels. But again, in this market, we really, really don't have an edge, because we are at the mercy of tweets and news and all that kind of stuff. So what I think will happen, Trump's going to be at the G20 summit. I think there will be, progress made, or hopefully there'll be progress made in trade talks and so forth, either up or between now and then, or at the meeting itself, or at least it's again, to me, if even if they kick the can down the road, but they're uh, acknowledging that there's a little progress being made, the market will like that, right? So again, I'm continuing to position the same way. I'm positioning higher, with some hedging, and the higher we go, the more I'm going to increase my hedging on the downside. But remember, and I'm not talking about. Sorry, I'm not talking about trying to do get short, black swan, that kind of thing, because once assuming an agreement is made at some point pretty soon, and Trump needs to have something happen in the next couple 2 or 3 months, of course that opens the door to much higher prices and in the market, across the board. Again, the whole time knowing that we should be hedged somewhat here. And I would also say, if that scenario plays out, take your profits when you can. And I'm trading on shorter time frames and taking smaller, faster profits in this type market, just because we are at the mercy of tweets and news that can whack us pretty hard. So I want to take some profit when I get it. So all that being said, let's continue to look to the upside. I mentioned this in last week's video. That's exactly what I was doing. It's playing out. It's not playing out as fast as I had hoped. Last week I was saying, and I'll show you here real quick. This is Wednesday. I did the videos, and I was saying that of course this tweets, and I even called the video last week "Tweets Gone Wild," because this is it was 80 point move, basically in 2 trading sessions. That's massive, and then we came right back down. So I would have preferred not to come all the way back down to the to the snow line here, but again, it looks like we're trying to make our way back up there. So all that being said, again, this overall thought process looks like it's playing out, but of course we're always looking over our shoulder for the next tweet and all that kind of stuff. So and continue to trade that way for for the foreseeable future. And it's okay, because you can do trades. I've been selling a lot of premium. I've been doing iron condors and things that that do work in this kind of market. If you kind of bracket some of these moves, you can still make money. I had quite a few iron condor trades that have worked over the last 6 weeks or a couple of months, really. And and I continue to do that selectively, so you have to be careful there. But there is some elevated premium that you can sell. So with that, I don't have anything specific to talk about as far as trades specifically. Normally I probably would, but we've only got 2 days left, and then we have a long weekend, so I'm going to stay a little lighter. I'm positioned into Friday, but then I'm going to stay a little lighter over the long weekend, and come back and see what we have next week. So I will let me wind it up, and I'll be with you guys next Wednesday, and we will see what has happened between today and then. So thanks for the time, and I'll see you at the next update.